Good day, everyone. Welcome to episode 68 of Reading with Ayo. Today, I want to talk about something. People, I think social media and they're using it as a dirty word nowadays. The other day, I was talking to one of my friends, and she was just complaining about social media, how she thinks it's a distraction, how she thinks it's like a waste of time, and it's the worst thing that people, that has happened to us. And, I was really, really, wanted to hear her thoughts, actually. So I started asking her a question because I think question helps us to get to answers. And I was like, what makes you think it's a dirty word? What makes you think it's a distraction? And she's like, yeah, because people spend a lot of time on it and they don't do what they need to do. And I was like, okay, let's think on the other part of it. What if you're using social media in a great way? In a way that adds value to you, in a way whereby you're using social media as a digital canvas for yourself, right? You're building yourself up through social media. And she went on, is like, oh, the kids nowadays are distracted. They don't use it that much. They use it, and it doesn't help them to get what they need to get. And I was like, wow. For me, I think social media is actually a great place to be. I think you just got to be intentional about it. And I think everybody should be on social media. But you should also choose what social media you're going to be on. For me, I'm only on LinkedIn and IG. On IG, I use IG to get information. Right. I use Instagram to get information. I use it for my workouts. I use it for I love Afrobeats. I love music. So I used to get a lot of music stuff, new music coming out, follow my favorite artist. I use it for my religion as well. Like, for my faith, to build my faith. There's a lot of pastors, a lot of people that I follow, that talk about things I want to hear. So I create my message towards that. I've used it to follow a lot of leaders that I share, that are so into my life as well. Like people that are, I follow Simon Sinek, I follow Brené Brown, I follow Adam Grant, I follow people that I really respect, that, that things I want to really learn from. So I follow those kind of people. And I use Instagram, as more as my branding page is where I build my digital canvas, and I build my digital branding. And you don't see me on LinkedIn every day. When I'm very intentional about LinkedIn. If I'm posting early in the morning before I go to work, so it's not distracting any of my day. If I'm going on Instagram, is it through lunch hour or maybe when I'm on the bus back home when I have some time. Those are the times I'm very intentional on the way I post and what I post. I use it as a place whereby I share a part of myself, but also I share what I'm learning. I use it to, if I see something I like, I'll promote it, that's really valuable to me, that I've learned something from. I post books that I read. I post my thoughts that I'm sharing, that I'm thinking in my head. And I also post to, get information from people. So like if I don't understand something, I might just put it on LinkedIn, and people, I'll get people to answer those questions. I think with everything in life, you got to be intentional about it. You got to understand what you want to do. You got to use social media to build your brand. My friend David Burrows is an introvert. And I don't think maybe if you had told him some years ago that he will be posting on LinkedIn the way he does now, I don't think it will. But right now, he's reaching so many people on LinkedIn and touching lives just by doing that. And I just think it's a great opportunity to do that. And she was talking about her kids. So for me, I've had a great relationship with my kids, and I sat them down and actually showed them how to use social media. Like I will not give my kids a car to drive without teaching them how to drive. I'm not going to give them social media without teaching them how to use it. So I've told them how often they can be there, when they can be there, and what they can post. Like my daughter now, she's doing some great stuff at school, and she's going to get certification in some things. So I'm actually helping her build a LinkedIn page to be able to show the things she's going to be doing in the future, that can help her promote ourselves when she needs to. Because the social media is going to be the place where people are going to look you up. So if you know your resume is not going to be the place all that much anymore. I actually was talking to somebody the other day that wanted to hire someone, and the person looked at the person on LinkedIn and looked on the IG and looked at what they were doing. And this guy actually was very great. He was an engineer, and the things he was posting were the places he was going, the conferences he was going, the things he's doing in engineering in school. You know, the internship he went to. He was very deliberate in what he was sharing, and I think that is so important. We need to teach our kids. It's not about just sharing stuff. It's about building your brand, building the things you want people to see, building your resume on social media. And I've also been teaching them, like, you can't be there all day because you have to be able to manage your time. I think with that, I think most our kids need to we need to allow our kids to be on social media, because I learned a lot from social media. I learned a lot on LinkedIn. I learned a lot on Instagram. And I think that's a great thing. And I think for employees, I think this is your modern resume. I just think it's a modern resume. This is where you go to build your brand. I think because looking for work or submitting stuff is more than just you submitting your resume nowadays. Is how do you build the breadcrumbs through Instagram, through LinkedIn, for people to know what you're passionate about, for people to know where you've been, what you've done, how interactions you've had. I think every social media post or LinkedIn post you post should be 70-20 rule, 70-20-10 rule. I use 70% of my time to post industry tips, things that I've seen in the industry or things like that, or books that I've read, or what somebody's thinking, or in the conversation I've had with someone. 20% is celebrating others. I use that 20% to see, what somebody's doing and promote that. And 10% to, self-promote myself through reading with Ayo, or maybe just sharing some stuff. I think it should be that way, because it builds an effect. It shows people what you're interested in. It shows people what you're doing. It shows people that you're hireable, and it shows people that you can actually, write stuff or have a conversation or things like that. And I think every leader should actually post at least once a week, because when you're posting, make sure you're posting about, there's no better way than social media to advertise your company right now. Like, to advertise the culture of your company, advertise the culture you bring into your organization, right? If you're, sharing what you're doing with your group, or what your organization is delivering, promoting your people within your team. I think it's really important, because it shows the culture, and it shows that people want to work for your company. Also, maybe people want to work for you. Because if anybody wants to hire me now today, I will go on LinkedIn and go look you up and see what you're passionate about. What are you posting about? That would actually help me to determine if I want to be a part of your company or be a part of your, of your organization. Because that is so important to me, to make sure that you are, sharing things like that, and you have the right culture, and you have the right leadership style that I want to see, I want to work for as well. So I think every leader should do that. And if you're no better place to sell the products that you're delivering, if you're in an organization, you're selling something, what better place to give you free advertisement than social media? So I think every leader should encourage. I encourage every leader to share once in a while. I'm not saying be there every day, go there every morning and night. No, be intentional about it. Create a communication strategy to include you posting on LinkedIn, talking about your organization, talking about what you're delivering. I think it's a great way to really advertise, and also share the culture of your company, and share what you as a leader is about. So I think it's really important. And I just wanted to share that, because social media is not a dirty word. It's how you use it. I think you should teach your kids, sit down with them, share what social media is, what's the impact of it. Like the way you will not give your kid a key to a car if they've not gone through the required training. Don't give them access to social media until they've done that. And also make sure you check and verify what they're doing over there as well. So that is my thought. I just feel like we should all be more on that. Thank you. And I'll see you in another episode of Reading with Ayo. Thank you.